it is now time to go over the layoffs. So, all right, guys. I did a video earlier today about a basically like an article talking about another studio laying off whatever more developers and whatnot. Well, there is a list that's out there, and I have the list here. This thing is long, okay? And it's only 2025, and it's already a long list. There is a list that people are keeping track, and they're updating of every single studio and every single studio, every single company that has fired people over the last, XYZ amount of time. So we got it going all the way to 2022, right? So you got 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. As of this year right now, there is an estimated 1,600 people that have been laid off this year alone, right? Now, keep in mind, this number, 1,600, is actually higher than that by a decent amount, because there is a lot of studios here that have announced layoffs, but they didn't tell you how many people were fired. So PlayStation VASG, for example, announced that they laid off people on March 4th, but they didn't say how many people were laid off. So there is actually a lot more people laid off than the 1,600, right? So keep that in mind when we're going over this list. If we were to go to 2024, there was 14,600 people laid off. And again, there are multiple studios with question marks because they don't know how many were actually laid off. So this number is actually higher than that, right? So we are in 2025, and we are already at probably almost 2,000 people fired this year alone. I mean, look at this list, bro. Look at this fucking list from 2024. It is insane. Anyway, so we're going to focus on 2025. We're going to go all the way back to January, okay? And we will talk about every company, and let's see if we can recognize any names that are on the list. Exactly. You just made the list. Exactly. This is the Jericho list of developers being fired. All right. Starting us off, we got Netmarble, F&C, on January 2nd. They fired 20 people, and they focus primarily on the mobile market. Actually, Radoka, that's a good comment. I don't see a lot of Asian, Korean, and Japanese or Chinese devs layoffs. Hypnotic, just saying. Yeah, I know. But also keep in mind, Radoka, so in Japan, it is actually, I'm not going to say it's not illegal, but essentially it is against their way of thinking to fire people. There is a lot of laws and protections in Japan. So what they try to do is they try to get you to quit. That's really what they try to do. Japan is notorious for having situations where they will make your life miserable at work to try to force you to quit. It's kind of similar to like when teachers get put in the rubber room whenever they do something bad, but they're tenured teachers and they can't be fired technically. So they put you in the rubber room to try to make you go insane so that you hate going to work and make you want to quit. It's kind of like the same thing. They're heavily against firing over there, and there's a lot of laws and protections. But anyway, so that's why you don't hear about a lot about layoffs. But still, what you're saying is fundamentally true for the most part. That, they don't have to do layoffs because a lot of their studios and a lot of their companies are growing because they're doing the right thing over there for the most part. So Netmarble F&C, a mobile developer, 20 people laid off. And then 4 days later, Jar of Sparks, which is a subsidiary of NetEase, fired 35 plus people. By the way, when you see this line here, that means that it could be more than 35, but they were only able to confirm about 35. Just an FYI. Then this was a big one. So Splash Damage, a subsidiary of Tencent, fired 150 people. Then you got Free Jam, which is an indie developer. They didn't tell you how many people they fired. And you're going to see a lot of this. You're going to see a lot of question marks, which, again, if you were to think in your mind the amount of companies that are on this list that have question marks, that means that there is a lot more people than just the 1,600 that have been fired. But regardless, we're still going to go through it anyway. And then you got Counterplay Games, which is another indie developer. They did not say how many people were fired. This happened on the same day. Actually, on the 9th, there were 4 studios that fired people. Free Jam, Counterplay, Piranha Games, and Toadman Interactive. Piranha Games fired 38 people. This is from the same, this is a subsidiary of the company Enad Global 7. And Toadman Interactive is also a subsidiary of Enad Global 7. And they fired 69 people. So together, they fired over 100 people in this particular 2 companies. And then you got Highwire Games. They didn't tell you how many people they fired. You got Wargaming USA. Didn't tell you how many people they fired. Phantom Coast. 10 plus people got fired. They found out on LinkedIn, which, by the way, this also has all the links. I'm going to put this in the chat for you guys so that you can see for yourself. It has every single direct link to show you where the announcement was that they fired people. Unchained Entertainment fired 25 people. This was an indie developer. Reflector Entertainment. They did not tell you how many people they fired from Bandai Namco. And who was Reflector Entertainment? They're the ones who made Unknown 9 Awakening. Remember that game? Unknown 9 Awakening? Well, they they fired people, but they did not tell you how many people they fired. You want to know why? Because it was probably the entire fucking studio. Let's be real. You haven't heard anything about Reflector Entertainment, have you? I haven't. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything about what they're making, about what they're working on next. Nothing. Because chances are they're done. Most likely. So there goes that. Machine Zone fired 89 people. They are a subsidiary of the company called AppLovin, which focuses mainly on mobile gaming. And here's the fun part. Our best friends, Ubisoft Leamington, fired 50 people. Ubisoft Reflections in Stockholm fired 50 people. Ubisoft Dusseldorf fired 85 people. Nice. Great job. Fantastic job. Moon Active fired 20 people plus. Phoenix Labs fired 50 people plus. Fast Travel Games fired 30 people. BioWare, unknown. Shocker. Gee. I wonder why they wouldn't release that information. Why would they want nobody to know about how many people they fired exactly? It's amazing, right? So BioWare is on this list, of course, and they won't tell you how many people they fired. Now, you got to imagine BioWare alone is probably a massive number of people that got fired. So this 1,600 number, I'm telling you, is much higher. It's much higher. It's got to be closer to 2,000. But that's fine. Whatever. Midnight Society. Now, you guys know who Midnight Society is. That is the company that decided it was in their best interest to drop Dr. Disrespect well before he even confirmed confirmed or denied he did anything. They dropped him, and they thought they can move on without Dr. Disrespect, which you can have your thoughts about Dr. Disrespect all you want, but at the end of the day, he was the face of the fucking company. And if you remove him, you might as well just have closed down your doors. But they didn't. But, eventually they did afterwards. So a couple of months later, at the end of January, they announced that they fired 55 people. They closed the entire studio down. So there you go. There's that. Midnight Society is dead. And then you got Sumo Digital Ltd. They did not tell you how many people they fired. It's a subsidiary of Tencent, so chances are they fired a decent amount of people. Probably Monsters. Who is Probably Monsters? Who is Probably Monsters? Well, Probably Monsters, to my knowledge, is the studio. It was the studio that owned Concord. They were the ones who sold off Concord to Sony. But it didn't save them anyway. It didn't save them anyway. Probably Monsters announced layoffs, but they didn't tell you exactly how many layoffs they did. They only said that they are producing more layoffs according to the article from Game Developer. So there's that. Iron Galaxy fired 66 people. High Res Studios, you guys know who High Res Studios is, obviously, fired 69 people. 1010 Games fired 18 people plus. Unity did not announce how many people they fired, and that's a huge company. Unity Technologies is a huge tech company, and they're not announcing how many people they fired. All they announced was that they cut jobs once again. That's it. Crytek, which again, Crytek, I love Crysis. The Hunt Showdown I haven't played yet, but Crytek has one of the most beautiful engines for video games by far. Fired 60 people. Sanzaru Games, which is a subsidiary of Meta over at Facebook, focuses on virtual reality. They didn't tell you how many people they fired, but I'm sure it was a good amount. Ben Studio, 25 plus people fired over at Sony. NetEase fired 10 plus people. Liquid Sword fired 46 people. Night School fired an unknown amount of people, and they work basically for Netflix. And again, guys, keep in mind, this list is just insane to me. It really is, because it just goes to show the level of destruction that is happening through the gaming industry. Think about how long this list is going to be by the end of this year because of the simple fact of the government money being removed from a lot of people's sources. This is just going to get worse and worse and worse. It's going to get worse. Bossa Games didn't tell you how many people they fired. Striking Distance Studios fired 30 plus people. They're a subsidiary of Krafton. Here's a good one. Skeleton Key from Hasbro fired people, but they won't tell you how many people they fired. But here's the amazing thing. Skeleton Key is the studio that supposedly has Corin Bush working for them now. Think about that, right? Corin Bush, the game director of Dragon Age: The Veilguard, went running to the wokest company that he could possibly run to, which was Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro. Fired people, but they won't tell you how many. Dark Damar says, hearing this is getting me bricked. Yeah, this is like a, how do I put it? This is like a list for people who just get off on other like game developers' misery. Let's keep going. We got more. Monolith Productions. Who are they? Who are they? Who is Monolith Productions? Monolith Productions is the company that was making the Wonder Woman game. And they got shut down completely. They're dead. They're dead and gone. 131 developers fired and lost their job because they decided to fuck around and find out. RIP. Unfortunately, they're also the ones who are in charge of the Nemesis system, so there goes that. Player First Games, 70 people fired plus. And again, all of these are subsidiaries of Warner Brothers. WB San Diego, 51 people fired. RIP. Space Ape Games, 30 people fired. Mainly they work on mobile. Azra Games Austin, 40 people fired. They work on mobile. PlayStation VASG, didn't tell you how many people they fired. PlayStation Malaysia fired 20 plus people. Free Range Games, didn't tell you how many people they fired. Box Dragon fired 5 plus people. Mountaintop Studios fired 80 plus people. God damn, bro. This is just insane, man. Farm 51 fired 15 people. Studio Fizbin fired 25 people. Elodie Games fired 35 people. Niantic Games, which is recently, by the way, I made a video on this, FYI. They fired 68 people due to the structuring from Scopely. Crystal Dynamics from the Embracer Group fired 17 people. PlayOn, who, by the way, is the company that owns, or not owns, but kind of works with the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 developers. but they work with a lot of games. Fired 40 people. Cyan Inc. fired 12 people. Eidos Montreal fired 75 people. And this is 75 plus 40 plus 17 from the Embracer Group. The Embracer Group is not doing too well right now. Playside fired an unknown amount of people. Brass Lion Entertainment fired 13 people. And then last but not least, the one that we did recently a video on, which was Makia Games, fired 20 people. So what does this tell us, right? This tells us that things are not looking good in the gaming industry, obviously. This tells us that it is a bloodbath out there. This got updated on the 16th, which means there are other things we gotta add to this, because there's more. There's more. Look at this. We got these kind of situations happening right now. The once promising developer Tequila Works is auctioning off the rights to its games, including 4 games that are still in development. The development of Rhyme and Jill is being split up and sold in parts. It is not good out there, boys. It is not good out there. It is getting bad. Bad, bad, bad. And keep in mind, the fact that this is happening after a year like 2024, where well over 14,000 people got fired in the gaming industry, it's insanity to me. Look at this. At the end of last year, Warner Brothers Montreal fired 99 people. People Can Fly fired 120 people. Like Ubisoft Sydney, 134 people. Ubisoft San Francisco, 152 people. Combined with Ubisoft Osaka. What the fuck? Reflector Entertainment fired another 45 people last year, which means they fired the rest of the people this year. You know what I mean? It's NCSoft fired 500 people themselves. NCSoft fired 500 people themselves, dude. It's a bloodbath, man. It's a bloodbath. And you wonder, look, Firewalk Studios, RIP. RIP Firewalk Studios, get felted. Get felted, Firewalk Studios. 174 people. Damn. That is rough. Riot Games, 32 people. I mean, everybody was affected at this point. It was pretty obvious. Who else? Microsoft Gaming, 650 people fired. Oh my God. Oh my God, dude. I didn't know that was that big. Holy fuck. Who else is a noticeable one? Let me scroll down. Anything that we can notice that stands out? Avalanche Studios, New York, Montreal, 50 people. Tango Gameworks, 150 people. That was unfortunate when they got killed. Oh, here we go. Take-Two Interactive. Take-Two Interactive. Over 600 people fired. Wow. Who else? Electronic Arts fired over 670 people. Electronic Arts. And keep in mind, too, these are like the main company, or this is like the main company, right? This is not even like subsidiary companies. This is the main company. 670 people. Oh, shit. Oh, my God, bro. Oh, my God. Activision Blizzard fired 1,900 people. Holy shit. I did not know it was that high. Where's my holy shit button?
Holy shit, 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 shit.
Oh my God, 1,900 people. Ow. Ow. The fuck? Oh, here's another one. Riot Games, 530 people. Oh. Yo, last year was crazy. Oh, look, again, Unity. Unity fired 1,800 people. Twitch fired 500 people. Oh, my God, dude. Oh, my God, dude. Wow, dude. Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's pretty obvious that they're getting felted. They're getting felted. And I am sure, and again, keep in mind really quick, like I told you guys before, this list has a bunch of companies that will not tell you how many people they fired. So this number is way higher than it actually is, which is kind of sad when you think about it, because the number's already astronomical as it is, right? You got 14,600 people confirmed on this list. So that means that all of these question marks are going to bring this up to like what, 20,000? Probably, give or take. It's the same thing here with the list on 2025. So again, 2024 was a bloodbath. 2025 continues to be the same, if not worse. And I don't know. I can only imagine what this number is going to be at the end of the year. But I mean, I have this bookmarked. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to link it in the chat right now. I'm linking it in the chat right now for those of you that want to bookmark this, so that while it's being updated, you can have a look and check for yourselves. But we're going to follow up on this list probably once a month. And we're going to see who's being added to this list and how many people are being fired left and right. But this is an interesting list. This is a nice little archive that they got going on here. So definitely check that out and bookmark that, save that, so that you can use it in the future. But that's basically it, boys. And like I said, this small little story here that I have from PC Gamer is nothing crazy, but it kind of ties together that the Spanish game studio Tequila Works announced that it was insolvent and closing even after prior staff cuts and the cancellation of an unannounced project. You know, I brought this story up because this is something that we talk about all the time, where so many studios are firing almost all of their staff and then trying to convince you that they're going to somehow stay afloat by firing almost all of their staff, but then every single one of them end up closing down months later. It's the same thing here. Tequila Works fired a bunch of their staff, and they were like, you know, we're going to continue whatever, and they end up letting go. They almost always end up letting go. So now they're trying to sell off their IPs, they're trying to sell off their video games to try to subsidize them towards the end, and they're eventually going to close down. That's basically it. But it's fucking insane, man. It's insane what's going on here. But of course, they got to tell everybody they're proud. They got to tell everybody did a great job. Nobody's bad, right? Last year, Tequila Works general manager Terrence Mosca said in a statement that he was proud of Tequila Works' team accomplishments, but that the prolonged market conditions meant insolvency was the company's only choice. Since its founding in 2009, Tequila Works' game development philosophy has always focused on creating things with gusto, said the company's statement. We are doing everything we can to provide support and guidance to our teams during this difficult time. Yeah, it's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault at all. So, all right, that's basically it. That's all I got for this particular topic. And like I said, guys, that link is in the chat. If you want to utilize it, you are more than welcome to in the future, because I know that I will be using it.